Hi, I'm Robin Hackey, Executive Director and co-founder of the Center for Community Investment. For the past 4 years, we've been working with hospitals and health systems aiming to improve the health of their communities by investing in the social determinants of health, specifically in preserving and producing affordable housing.
The South Side is kind of at the intersection of Interstate 70 and 71, so you kind of call it the crossroads of Ohio. And it's an interesting space that's very quickly becoming gentrified. And knowing that one of our tenets here was really to maintain the fabric of the neighborhood, so that residents that were living there could stay. The really cool thing about this is that we had some high performing partners within this organization, right? So we have Nationwide Children's Hospital, an anchor institution committed to the South Side of Columbus. We have CD for All People, John Edgar's organization, we've worked with for decades within the housing space and community work, and then Healthy Homes in terms of being able to develop the affordable housing piece. So we've got kind of these three anchors and then a gentrifying community, which was the right mix to be able to say, okay, how can we do this? What can we do? How can we be creative to make this happen? So the answer that came out of this is the Southside Renaissance Fund. What we ended up with was a $20 million fund dedicated to affordable housing within the South Side, and then also an additional $5 million of funding for commercial work that could take place within the city of Columbus. We knew that we had a number of units we wanted to accomplish. Our goal was originally 150 units, but knowing that those are going to come online over time, construction is going to take time. You need really a flexible source of funding to make that happen. This isn't something that banks traditionally want to do, right? They want to have a firm takeout. They want to know when the money's going out, when it's going back, have a set payment. But that wasn't going to exist here, knowing how we were going to try and accomplish this work over a period of 5 years. The other thing is that we needed to have something that was easy to use. So as Gretchen's needing capital to work on the construction side, we need to have the ability to draw that capital down. And as a community development financial institution, working with a number of banks in the community, we were able to structure a capital stack that brought that kind of flexibility to bear. The goal then, as we look at that capital stack, was to say, if we could have money for 5 years that we could draw, and then the remaining 5 years, it would be repaid. But we didn't know exactly how much we could repay. We didn't know what the operating expenses would be exactly. We didn't know how often we'd have to make draws, how quickly construction could happen. And all that's really come to play now with COVID, right? I mean, we had the best laid plans, but COVID's delayed some things. And as we look at that, the capital stack then, so we're drawing money over a 5-year period. We worked with our lending partners to say, we'll draw your capital over 5 years. If we don't draw it over 5 years, then you get to take it back. The other piece of that was how do we actually repay the loan? And on the flexibility side, we said to our lending partners, we'll repay your loan at the end of the year. So we're going to make we're making actually semi-annual interest payments back to the lenders. And then at the end of the year, 95% of the cash flow that the projects generate that are operating is going to go to repay the principal reduction payment on that loan. And as the banks were taking a look at this and trying to figure out how's this going to work, how do we underwrite that? It came to bear that within the $20 million capital stack, $15 million of that is actual cash coming from the lending institutions as well as Ohio Capital Finance Corporation. We have a grant from JP Morgan Chase and the Affordable Housing Trust, as well as then $5 million being funded from community partners in terms of grants. And that's money from the City of Columbus, Home Money, the United Way, the Realtors Foundation, and others that are making up a 25% subsidy in essence to go into this capital pool. So as a banker, they were on the hook for the first $10 million. They had a first mortgage on that. The Affordable Housing Trust and Ohio Capital Finance Corporation put up the next 5. Then we had another $5 million of grant funding. So at any point in time, the traditional lenders were really only 50% invested within each one of these units. Additionally, we can look at the neighborhood, and we felt very confident in saying this neighborhood is gentrifying, and the work that we're doing here, the dollars we're investing today are going to be worth far more in 10 years than they are today. So to the extent that the cash flow wasn't there to necessarily make the full repayment on the principal amount, we knew that as a backstop, we could actually sell units if we needed to. The capital stack, as I mentioned, so it's the $15 million. And the interesting thing about that is that of the first 10 million coming from banks, we did have a couple of the lenders provided EQ2s, which is interesting money. It's very flexible. And that was a great source, as well as another lender used debentures as a way to fund their investment within the structure. Then bringing that kind of anchored institution to bear, Nationwide Children's Hospital was able to actually provide a guarantee on the housing piece, and then Ohio Capital is providing a guarantee with regard to the community investment piece that we're working on that is not housing related. So all that to say, it took a whole community to bring this together, and it's been an amazing project to see what's been able to come about over time. And as I sit here today, I think our goal has been reduced due to cost increases and so forth, but we're looking at producing at least 130 units. We've got 84 units that are currently operating. 15 units are under construction. And currently we've spent about $12 million on total development costs. And I give all the credit to Gretchen for doing this. This is her work. Ohio Capital Finance Corp brought the money, but Gretchen's actually getting the construction done, finding the lots, and building this out. And it's been a big lift. But it's been really, really amazing to see how this has come together.